Do you have a 3D printer? Would you like your blasters to be more accurate? I got a thing. Hi guys, Tom's Armory. Before we get started talking about this awesome product, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you're not, leave a like, maybe a comment down below. It helps the channel a lot. If you want to support the channel more directly, there's a link to my Patreon as well as my Teespring store down in the description. That out of the way. Nerf snipers is a very interesting topic that can really never exist because of our projectile. Foam is very not dense and therefore has very bad inertia capability when it comes to dealing with air resistance and sciencey stuff. So a lot of people have worked very hard to get Nerf blasters accurate enough to be usable at longer distances. Hence the birth of the SCAR barrel, which is what we're talking about today. Now, what is a SCAR barrel and why does it make my blasters work better? I will answer this. SCAR barrels are based on a concept that is called rotational stabilization. So I think that's what it's called. I'm calling it rotational stabilization. This is where there's a projectile, aka a thing flying through the air, becomes more stable in its flight path because it is spinning on an axis perpendicular to the direction of its motion. Think of a football being thrown with a spiral. This is done in real steel firearms with a thing called a rifling. That is where you take the barrel and you cut a series of lands and grooves in a spiral pattern down the length of the barrel, imparting a twist upon your projectile. That's really hard and expensive to do, so we don't do that in Nerf. We use smoothbore barrels and we throw rifling on the end with either SCAR barrels or little rifled barrel segments. SCAR barrels are kind of the original, kind of classic way to do this, which is where you use fishing wire or some very thin string to create a twist pattern. Though some companies, some designers online for 3D printed things, and I think Worker has been experimenting with barrels that have rifling, so a twist pattern designed into the barrel itself rather than having thread. People have been experimenting with it, and frankly I haven't had the best experience with those barrels, but I've only tried the one, so who knows. All that being said, all that explanation out the way to talk about this one. And, well, this one. Give my flak a lot of love. Let's talk about the caliber. This is the Turbine SCAR by Old Fusion Designs, which I'm like 2 minutes into this review and I'm just now saying the product name. So the Turbine SCAR by Old Fusion Designs, that's Old Fusion Designs on Etsy, link in the description below, has created this wonderful modular SCAR system, where you have a core SCAR that determines the length of your barrel, you have a collet system which connects it to the barrel, and a shroud over top that holds everything nice together and protects it. These are very easily adjustable, and we'll get into that, but first let's string one up. Stringing the Turbine SCAR is actually quite easy. Here I'm just using some generic fishing line, though you can do some research yourself to figure out what is going to be optimal for your darts. You start at the position labeled start and thread your fishing line perpendicular to the actual bore of the SCAR barrel. You then continue to thread the fishing line through the SCAR barrel and up and over the adjustment head, continuing all around the SCAR barrel until you reach number 5. From then you want to lock off one end of your fishing wire while you string the last bit from where you started. Once you do this, you simply wrap around the little nub that is also labeled 6, put on your shroud, and then you're done. So that build and stringing is not that hard. I, like most of my reviews, did it blind with no help and no prior research. I just sat down with the parts and figured it out. I do this so I can give a genuine response to you, my viewers, and genuinely that was not bad. Now it took me a second to figure out just how the string needed to be passed along the loop system, and it did take liberal use of tweezers and a pair of needle nose pliers to get it strung, but it only took like 15 minutes, and that's acceptable. It's much better than I think the 30 minutes it took me to string up the Captain Slug scar that I used to have on this guy. That being said, let's talk about installation, which is one of the coolest things about this scar barrel. Now, the installation is where the turbine scar really shines. It is installed using this collet system. There are a variety of different sizes of these for different barrel sizes. This, of course, is the one for the 16 mil aluminum barrel. And I'm going to be installing this onto my flak barrel just as an example. So to begin, you want to slide your collet nut on, followed by your collet with the longer chamfer facing your muzzle. And then simply take your actual scar barrel and push it onto your muzzle, not good and tight, and then begin to screw down your collet nut. Now this gives you a very strong friction fit, as well as centering and aligning the scar barrel with your bore. The kit does come with a pair of tools that will help you tighten this very, very tightly, but I find just using 2 hands and a little bit of grip strength, it works just fine. After you get it on, you do of course want to make sure your twist is right. I need to go one more click over. There we go. And then you slide on your shroud. This is the long shroud with the short scar barrel. They are reverse compatible, so in my case, I like the long aesthetic better, but the performance from the short one better, so you're free to do that. So yeah, this thing's easy to use, it's easy to put together, and it is, well, pretty. This is the boxy design of the long version, and this is the long shroud, like I said previously, on the short scar barrel. Now, I don't know the science behind which the short one or the long one you should use. I found with a weaker performance, this hits about 120 FPS. The short scar barrel works better. This hits about 120 or 225, and the long scar barrel works better here. I've only put about 100 darts through each, so limited sample size, but that's my experience. If you know which scar barrel I should be using where and why, let me know in the comments. This is a great design, and I don't want to talk for too much longer, but if you have a 3D printer or access to a 3D printer, I highly suggest this scar barrel. It is easy to fix, easy to readjust, easy to build, easy to put together, easy to install. With the shroud system, it's very easy to get plenty of orange on your blaster without having to do something like a complicated filament slot swap, which I guess isn't complicated. It can just ruin a print if it doesn't come out well. I highly suggest this, and that's all I'm gonna say. This 100% my stamp of hubris or whatever. Get yourself some. They work great, and with Old Fusion's license, you can print as many for yourself as you can off of one purchase of the files. Hey guys, I hope you liked that video. Once again, please, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you're not, leave a like if you feel like it. Again, any questions, comments, whatever, that's what the comment section's for. I love talking to you guys down there. I just broke, not 100, 500 subscribers, which is insane. But let's get to that 1,000 mark. It's not that far away. Yeah. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to support the channel more, there's my Patreon linked in the description, as well as my Teespring store. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. How many sign-offs can I do? I thought I decided on one. Ah.